Alright, so I'm going to share a little information about Anki. Anki is an application for memorizing things, basically a flashcard application. And I was downloading a Greek vocabulary for Basics of Biblical Greek by Dr. Bill Mounts, and um, wanted to be able to use it with Anki. So let me just share a little bit of information about that. So here's Anki. Anki is an application. It can be downloaded for multiple platforms, for Windows, for Mac, iPhone, Android. So you can review your languages. You can review Greek, for instance, on your phone, whether it's an iPhone or an Android phone. You can review it on your Mac, on your Windows PC, on tablets of the two platforms, and you can also review it on the web. One of the good things about Anki is that it does synchronize your progress between all of the platforms. Your progress is saved online, so when you move from your computer to your iPhone on the bus, you won't have to maintain separate statuses. It will be updated. It will show the cards that you have reviewed, and it'll keep your status correct. Here is the Anki web interface. Um, as you can see here, it has synchronized the fact that I have deleted all of my decks. So first thing we want to do is to get a shared deck. So we're going to get one of the decks for Basics of Biblical Greek, and the easiest way to find them is to search by Dr. Mounts' last name, and you will see that there are multiple, some of them basically very similar copies of the same deck or iterations of it with some changes and whatnot. So there's the full vocabulary, which is about 5,500 words, and then there are the smaller ones that are specific to kind of the vocabulary taught in the class. So there was this deck here. It was a nice deck. It has 550 words, basically every word occurring more than 30 times. The author of this deck was basing it on another deck, but updated it. Database was built with Bill Mounts' help and permission, so it says. And so I use this deck as a basis for the deck that I made, which is a copy of this deck, slightly reorganized, but with the addition of Bill Mounts' audio for his flashcards. So the audio files have been added. There's been some slight reordering of things, and that was added with Professor Mounts' permission. I added a field for frequency so that cards could be reordered, and I also I noticed that there were these the cards that have, well, basically these that have the lexical form and rube and the back tense voice, which were kind of it looked like they were an addition after the fact of additional cards in addition to the just basic vocabulary with the English definitions, and they are labeled, which is very helpful. But unfortunately, the sort order, the order was towards the end of the deck, and so the chapter 22 lexical form, root, back tense flashcards were not grouped by sort order in the same place as the actual vocabulary from the same chapter. So what I have done, I've added the audio, but I've also kind of grouped the sort order of these lexical cards with the vocabularies for the same chapters. Um, Other than that, that's basically it. It's the same as the previous deck that was available. So what I'm going to do now is to download the deck, desktop. As you see, I have it is downloading. It's a 10 megabyte file because of all of the audio. So that will download, and while that's downloading, let me discuss some other stuff quickly. Um, I did find that though it is supported on Android, you can click the Get Anki Droid button here, and you see Anki Droid flashcards. This is the app on Android-based phones that can do the flashcard, display your languages in the flashcards. One of the things I found was that it does not display the fonts correctly. But someone else has discovered that long before I did, and they added another app which is called Anki Droid Fonts. So this was done by a student who was taking ancient Greek in a class, and so as an assignment he created this app which will correctly display all of the fonts. So you know, it's a pretty straightforward process. Once you install the app, you click this button to say install fonts, and then there's another step where you basically go into the preferences for Anki Droid and set the default display to free serif or serif, and I also set the override font to the same just to be sure. But once I did that, everything worked fine. The fonts displayed correctly on my phone, so pretty straightforward process there. Um, so so I have downloaded the package here. So I've already installed the Windows version of the application to my desktop, which currently does not have the deck. Okay, and you could obviously from the Anki website you can download the Windows version here. So, but I've already done that, and I have no deck here. But if I just double click this deck, it will get imported. So voila, I have my New Testament Greek for the Mounts class, and if I click here and start studying,
Abraham, ha.
Abraham, ha, it actually says the word for you. And then I can say, well, what do I think Abraham means? I believe it's Abraham, so I can say show answer Abraham, and if I got it wrong I would click again. If I got it right but it was somewhat difficult, I'd click good, and if it was really easy then I'd click easy. And Anki will take care of the spaced repetition for you. You don't have to manage the shuffling of cards. The cards are automatically shuffled for you based on your answer to this question each time you review a flashcard, and it will space those cards out based on how well you know them. No fuss. Yeah, it does it all on its own. So um, that's that's basically it. Anki for all of your platforms: Windows, Mac, iPhone, Android phone, and directly from the web. So if I go back to my decks here, let's see, did I synchronize? Let me synchronize. Alright, let's see if we get a... Alright, and as you can see on the website as well, the deck is there. Voila.